Happy Sabbath, and welcome to the sons and daughters of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, to the poor and needy, those of you joining us live stream on Facebook, and those of you joining us on YouTube. Today, we continue our part 2 of the Antichrist. Last week, we did revealing the Antichrist, and we dealt with the uprising. And we dealt with how the uprising of what the spirit of the Antichrist or being anti-word. But today we're going to really get into the man, the Antichrist. I have to my right, your left, a poster, then I have another poster here. We're going to get into some details about the Antichrist. But first I want to kind of just touch on last week to lock us into this week's lesson. So let's go to 1 John 2 and 18. And we're going to see that the Antichrist, because we deal with the spirit of the Antichrist, is here. It is around us, y'all, people that are against the word. Now, you got people that are deceived about the word, but as soon as you get the word and you believe the word, and you take it to some people, they are against it. That's the spirit of the Antichrist. We revealed that last week. So let's go to 1 John 2 and 18. 1 John 2 and 18. Praise ye the Lord. Amen. 1 John 2 and 18. We praise the Lord God of Israel. Watch this. 1 John 2 and 18. Read.
Little children, it is the last time, and as ye have heard, that Antichrist shall come. Even now are there many Antichrists, whereby we know that it is the last time.
Now see, when he said little children, I'll say it again, he talked to the born again. Nevertheless, notice what it says, you have heard that the Antichrist shall come. And then notice how Apostle John says, and even now are there many Antichrists. So we deal with that, or we focus on that, or we emphasized on that in part 1 in the uprising of the Antichrist. We showed you the origin and everything, okay? So we're going to focus on, as you have heard, that Antichrist shall come. Shall come. So now let's do ourselves a favor and go to 2 Thessalonians 12 and verse 1. 2 Thessalonians 12 and verse 1. Because this Antichrist that's coming, there's a time for him to be revealed. The spirit of the Antichrist is flourishing about. Okay? And we're going to deal with how that spirit was crushing and killing those that were of Christ. Because the Antichrist wants to kill the spirit of Christ, y'all. He really do. Nevertheless, we're going to walk it into this time period. So 2 Thessalonians 2 and verse 1. 2 Thessalonians 2 and 1. Read.
Now we beseech you, brethren, by the coming of our Lord Jesus Christ, and by our gathering together unto him, that ye be not soon shaken in mind, or be troubled, neither by spirit, nor by word, nor by letter as from us, as that the day of Christ is at hand. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of Perdition. Now see, Christ just can't show up at any time.
He can't show up tonight. He can't show up next week. Why? Because that day shall not come except 2 things happen first. And then one part is already in full bloom. Except they're coming to falling away first. And notice, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. This is the Antichrist, y'all. That is the Antichrist. Now, anti meaning against. Matter of fact, let me reiterate this right quick. Antichrist means a particular person or power or variously identified or explained who is conceived of as appearing in the world as a principal antagonist of Christ or an opponent of Christ. A person or power antagonistic to Christ, meaning he's against That's why you pick up this word and you actually start believing the Bible, you start seeing the spirit of the Antichrist kind of rise out of people that you didn't think was hating the Bible or against the Bible. So that's how you reveal how the Antichrist, the spirit of the Antichrist is in the midst of us now. Nevertheless, the Antichrist, he ain't here yet. His office is here. But the Antichrist, and he ain't far off either now. Nevertheless, let me finish this. A person or a power antagonistic to Christ, a disbeliever in Christ, even a false Christ, Beelzebub, angel of darkness, Apollyon, an archfiend, a diabolist, king of hell, prince of darkness. Okay, so that's what the Antichrist is. He wants to replace Christ. He's counter to Christ. He's opposite of Christ. And we just got to reading that this man will not be revealed. It said, for that day shall not come. So anything that's opposite of shall not come is anti the word, and the spirit of the Antichrist is already put out here. Oh, Jesus could show up tonight. That's contrary or opposing what we just read. Turn the arrow. So we see right here, he said, let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except they come and fall away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. Go ahead.
Who opposes and exalts himself above all that is called God.
See, he opposes. We just have to read. That's the definition of anti. And we're going to get into some history and show you how his office is here. But that man, this man right here, I mean, quiet as kept, he might be born, not the way things is going. He might be born. But I know he ain't stood up yet. Nevertheless, it says, who opposed it and exalted himself above all that is called God. Go ahead.
Or that is worshipped, so that he, as God, sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God.
This is what the Antichrist, the man that is opposed, the man of sin, the son of perdition, is going to do. He's going to actually sit in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. So that ain't happened yet. We ain't seen no man standing up in no temple showing himself that he is God yet. Okay? So we're going to look at there's time for him to reveal. Go ahead.
Remember ye not that when I was yet with you, I told you these things. And now you know what withholdeth, that he might be revealed in his time.
At any time.
Oh, sorry.
What did it say?
At his time.
At sometime near. No, it said what?
In his time.
In his time. There is a time for this Antichrist, the man, to stand up. And it can't be any time. It won't be any time. There are certain things in prophecy that have to pan out or be fulfilled before each increment of God's plan is revealed. Now, I got a lesson about the Great Tribulation period we deal with in other facets, but I am in particular focusing in these two parts on the Antichrist. Okay, we're going to hit on the 3.5 years a little bit in there, and we're going to deal with the Great Tribulation period a little bit because the Great Tribulation period is brought on by this man. But go ahead.
For the mystery of iniquity doeth already work. Only he who knows will let until he be taken out.
Say only he who now.
He who now will let until he be taken out of the way.
So how he going to be taken out the way? Notice Paul said, for the mystery of iniquity does already work. And we know the spirit of the Antichrist is already present, even back in Paul's time, because of what the Apostle John said. There are many Antichrists at his time. That means the spirit of the Antichrist has been around a long time. But it's going to come to a head when the Antichrist or some flesh and blood man will feel that he's being empowered to rise up against Christ, against the word flat out, and everybody that believes in the word he is against. And he going to want to do them harm flat out. Flat out, y'all. Go ahead.
And then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming.
Oh, so the Antichrist will be destroyed at the coming of the Lord. That's how we know the Lord can't come at any time. He can't come tonight. He can't be here in 5 minutes. We can't set no particular date as to when Christ comes, because when Christ comes, that's when he takes out the Antichrist. Or this man that sat in the temple showing himself that he is God. So the Lord is going to destroy him with the brightness of his coming, which means ain't going to be no secret coming, y'all. Everybody going to see this. It's almost like the sun shining. Okay? Go ahead.
Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan with all power and signs and lying wonders, and with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved.
What must you love to be saved? You got to love the truth. You have got to love the word of God. You don't love the word of God, two things happening with you. You either being deceived or you under the spirit of the Antichrist. I pray it's just deceived and you just haven't found out any better yet. Not that you against this Bible. That you against, oh brother, you don't have to read the Bible. Don't you know that that's been twisted? It's been retranslated so many times. How you believe it? How can you believe something that's 100 years old, man? Spirit, that's how Antichrist, that's the spirit of the Antichrist language right there. So with all deceitfulness and unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be what? Saved. Look what God does, y'all. Go ahead.
And for this cause.
For this what?
And for this cause, God shall send them strong delusion, that they should believe a lie.
Hey, some people, look, remember you got to call out the verse. Hey, look, God will send you a strong dude. That's why you got people that know rabbits don't lay eggs, and they know they ain't got nothing to do with Jesus. And they know that, but they still want to continue in that. God can send them strong delusion. You show people clear scripture, and they're religiously inclined, yet they want to deny the book, and you've been dealing with them, and they in no eyes and no way turning from their delusion, their lie. This is why they're not doing it, though. Because God was saying strong delusion that they should believe that lie. You got people that know Christ wasn't born on December 25th, but they gonna go ahead and celebrate it anyway. Because God has sent them a strong delusion that they should believe a lie, and they would turn around and fight you about it. And they know it's a lie. That's a strong delusion, y'all. Go ahead.
Verse 12. That they all might be damned who believe not the truth, but have pleasure in unrighteousness.
See, you got people, he said, that they might be what? Damned. And this is New Testament, y'all. You hear people say, see, the Old Testament, God, he cruel. What did I just read? That they all might be damned who believe not the truth, but have pleasure in unrighteousness. So now let's look at the other side of the coin. Go ahead.
Verse 13. But we are bound to give thanks always to God for you.
But notice how Paul said, but we are bound to give thanks always to God for you. Those of us that love the truth. That don't want to walk around with no strong delusion, believing lies. And you know it's a lie. That's how you know that person got strong delusion. You run across one of them, leave them alone. Leave that person alone. They want their rabbits and their eggs. They want their Sunday worship. They want their Christmas trees and their Santa Clauses. And they know it's a lie, but they still want to do it. Leave them alone. Because then you fight against God. Because he done damned them. He done straight damned them. Nevertheless, Paul talking about, but we are bound to give thanks always to God for you. Go ahead.
Brethren, beloved of the Lord.
Yes, sir.
Because God hath from the beginning chosen you to salvation.
Oh, see, he had people chosen to salvation. And Paul specifically says, because God has from the beginning chosen you to salvation. So when the people that got that strong delusion of damnation on them, kicking and they Antichrist, hey, it is what it is. And it's what we read is what we read, ain't it? Okay? Go ahead. Through what?
Through sanctification of the Spirit.
Yes, sir.
And belief of the truth.
And belief of the what?
Truth.
The truth, y'all. And the Antichrist is against the truth. And we're going to show you this in by going to Daniel's 8th chapter. Let's go to Daniel's 8th chapter and look at this time, y'all, that the Antichrist is going to be revealed. The spirit of Antichrist is flourishing, y'all. Oh, there's a lot of people, you know, even the spirit of deceit, being deceived, is flourishing. But we're going to go to Daniel's 8th chapter and verse 1. Daniel 8 and 1. Daniel 8 and 1. Daniel 8 and verse 1. Daniel 8 and verse 1. Read.
In the third year of the reign of King Belshazzar, a vision appeared unto me, even unto me Daniel, after that which appeared unto me at the first.
Now, we're going all the way back here to see the prophet Daniel. And in the book of Daniel, he reveals a lot of prophecy concerning the Antichrist, concerning the Gentiles, the times of the Gentiles, and how they will rule, and how they will rise up 4 great beasts. That was what was showed in the first vision earlier. Nevertheless, let's skip down to verse, no, keep going.
And I saw in a vision, and it came to pass, when I saw that I was at Shushan in the palace, which is in the province of Elam. And I saw in a vision, and I was by the river of Eli. Now
look, that first vision he saw, you can read about it in Daniel's 2nd chapter, and 3rd chapter. Okay, that's when the first vision came to. Nevertheless, let's get down to verse 9. Let's get down to verse 9. Because this is all about the Gentiles' power and domination. We are living in the times of the Gentiles that started. That's why right here on my right, I have here the Babylon the Great was started 634 to 562 BC under King Nebuchadnezzar. And the Silver Age was the Medes and the Persians, which was 550 to 330 BC. Then you had the Hellenistic or your Greek Empire, which is 336 to 168 BC. And then you had a Roman Empire, which is the empire that rose up in 44 BC. And technically, 476 was the last time they had a Roman emperor. But these are the 4 beasts that Daniel's 7th chapter speaks of. So that's why we had this here. Okay? So nevertheless, let's go down to verse 9. Because out of this, verse 8, I'm sorry, we're going to skip down to verse 8. Out of the Gentiles came up with little horn. So go ahead.
Verse 8.
Verse 8.
Verse 8. Therefore, the he-goat waxed very great, and when he was strong, the great horn was broken. Now
that's talking about Alexander the Great. Alexander the Great. So that's who that great horn was. That he came up. He was strong. He was a great horn. He was broken. And then go ahead.
And for it came, came up 4 notable ones.
Which one? Winds.
No,
that's winds, son.
It came up 4 notable ones.
Oh, sorry.
4 winds.
My bad.
Toward the 4 winds of heaven. And out of the one of them came forth the little horn, which waxed exceeding great.
Now look, this is the seat of the beast, the seat of the papacy. And we're going to get into this little horn as we go. But out of one of them came forth a little horn. This is the Gentile, okay? And there's a little horn which did what?
A little horn which waxed exceeding great toward the south and toward the east and toward the pleasant land. And it waxed great even to the host of heaven. And it cast down some of the hosts and of the stars to the ground and stamped upon them.
Now we're going to find out about these stars, y'all. Okay, we're going to know something about these stars a little later on. Nevertheless, he waxed great, even to the host of heaven, and he cast down some of the hosts and of the stars to the ground and stamped upon them. Go ahead.
Verse 11. Yeah, he magnified himself even to the prince of the host. And by him the daily sacrifice was taken away.
Now he magnified himself. Remember we read in Thessalonians, he exalted himself above all that is called God. Same thing, exalting, you magnify, exalting, same thing, synonymous. He magnified himself even to the prince of the host, and by him the daily sacrifice was taken away. So daily sacrifices got to be in play, y'all. when the man of sin, the Antichrist, get ready to stand up and do his thing. Now, I know you have a sect out there called Seventh-day Adventists. They go into this thing and they think all this stuff that already occurred. But we're going to show you, we're going to let the book tell you what time period we're talking about. Okay? Nevertheless, go ahead.
And the place of his sanctuary was cast down.
Now, how is it cast down? By the saints of God talking about it. By the saints of God reading his word. By the saints of God believing the word of God and letting people know. The people that call themselves in charge of the religion of this world or the religion, the sanctuary was cast down. Go ahead.
And an host was given him against a daily sacrifice.
So he's going to have an army stand up on his behalf. A host was given him against the daily sacrifice. Go ahead.
By reason of transgression. And it cast down the truth to the ground.
It cast down the truth to the ground. That is Antichrist. That's why he's opposing and exalting himself above all that is called God. Go ahead.
And in practice and prospered.
So when you cast down the truth to the ground, he said it practiced and prospered. That's why you got one famous person talking about the devil wants you to keep the law. And he got millions and millions of dollars for a jet. Little jet. Yeah, he prospered. He got that prosperity doctrine. Why? Because he's a seed. He's a child of what we read. He cast the truth down to the ground, and it practiced and prospered. Go ahead.
Verse 13. Then I heard one saint speaking. Another saint said unto that certain saint, which spake, how long shall be the vision concerning the daily sacrifice, and the transgression of desolation, to give both the sanctuary and the host to be trodden underfoot? And he said unto me, verse 14, and he said unto me, after 2,300 days, then shall the sanctuary be cleansed. Now,
let me bring this post up that we have. This right here is our poster for the 2,300 days of Daniel. Now, you have a sect out there that think, you know, the 2,300 days of Daniel, that's already done happened. It has already come to pass and all of that. But we're going to let the book tell us when, y'all. We're going to let the book, because we use this to break down the entire end time period. But nevertheless, he said, how long? To 2,300 days, then shall the sanctuary be cleansed. Nevertheless, go ahead.
Verse 15, and it came to pass, when even I, Daniel, had seen the vision, and saw for the meaning, then behold, there stood before me as the appearance of a man.
Now look what Daniel did. Look at his reaction to these 2,300 days. He's looking like, man, he's seeing the vision, but he saw for the meaning. Man, what's this 2,300 days mean, man? Wow, 2,300 days. But the Lord did something here. He said, then behold, there stood before me as the appearance of a man. And now what is this man going to help Daniel to do about these 2,300 days? Or his question, how long shall the vision concerning the daily sacrifice and the transgression of desolation to give both the sanctuary and the host be trodden underfoot? How long? Daniel didn't quite understand it. So let's let the book, because some of us out there don't quite understand this either. And I know one sect, they really don't understand this. So let's let the book tell us all. Let the book tell us all what this is talking about. Verse 16, read.
Verse 16. And I heard a man's voice between the banks of Ulai, which called and said, Gabriel, make this man to understand the vision.
So this is Gabriel. Under the old covenant, that's what his name was, Gabriel. And it said, Gabriel, make this man to understand the vision. Starting from verse 1. Okay? Because he said, I seen a vision. So we see this whole chapter, he's trying to make them understand this vision. Okay? So let's let the Bible speak. Go ahead.
Verse 17. So he came near where I stood. And when he came, I was afraid and fell upon my face. But he said unto me, understand, O son of man, for at the time of the end shall be the vision.
Oh, so for the time of back in what they got on there, the year 1012, so you start the 1,260 days again. No, none of that foolishness, y'all. None of that. The book just said, for at the time of the end shall be the vision. The end, y'all. In these times, in these end times. That's what we're talking about. This 2,300 days. This right here. We're talking about end time. This is an end time chart. This is not something you start. Well, see, the 1,060 days started back in the, when the Pope did. No, none of that. This is the end time. That's what the book just told us. So we're looking at the 2,300 days of Daniel, verses 9 through 4. That is end time. We just read that. Read that one more time. For he's at the time of the what?
For he was at the time of the end shall be the vision.
Said this vision be, y'all. So he was showing him something that's beyond our day, y'all. This 2,300 days has not started. No, sir. It has not started. So let them know, y'all. Make them read that. Then it be like, yeah. Anyway, so for at the time of the end shall be the vision. Go ahead.
Verse 18. Now as he was speaking with me, I was in a deep sleep on my face toward the ground. But he touched me and set me upright. And he said, behold, I will make thee know what shall be in the last end of the kingdom. Indignation. See, the last end, y'all, that 2,300 days is the end time. Not something that started with, what's her girl, Ellen White, or whatever her name is. Yeah, come up with, nah. Throw all that philosophy out the window, y'all. Because the book told us twice. What shall be in the last end of indignation, go ahead. For at the time appointed, the end shall be.
For at the time appointed, the end shall be. The end, y'all. That's what we're talking about right there. And this is the time in which the Antichrist shall be revealed. During the 2,300 days of the vision that Daniel was inquiring about, y'all. So now let's do ourselves a favor. Skip down to verse 23. Oh, I'm sorry. 22, sorry. No, keep reading. Skip it. I was going to break it up. Keep reading.
Verse 20. The worm which thou sawest having 2 horns are the kings of Media and Persia.
See, we're talking Gentiles, y'all. This is all during the times of the Gentiles. Go ahead.
And the rough goat is the king of Grecia. And the great horn that is between his eyes is the first king.
Yes, sir. Now watch this.
Now that being broken, whereas 4 stood up for it, 4 kingdoms shall stand up out of the nation, but not in his power. And in the latter time of their kingdom. Oh, and in the latter time of their kingdom, watch this, y'all. Go ahead. When the transgressors are come to the full,
yes, sir.
The king of fierce continence and understanding dark sentences shall stand up. So now this king will stand up, and a king of what? Fierce continence and understanding dark sentences. Go ahead. Verse 24. And his power shall be mighty, but not by his own power. And he shall destroy wonderfully, and shall prosper and practice, and shall destroy the mighty and the holy people. Oh, wait a minute. By his power shall be mighty, but not by his own power. And he shall do what? He shall destroy wonderfully, and shall prosper and practice, and do what? Shall destroy the mighty and the holy people. Now, what I want to do is go into some history, y'all. We're going to go do some history right quick. Get page 1. Can you read that? Now, this is concerned because this 4th beast, y'all, is the Roman Empire. And under this 4th beast, in the latter time again, because the Gentiles represent the latter time of the kingdom of the Gentiles. They are the last son of Noah that's going to be in possession of this planet when the Lord comes back. That's why everything white is right. All the money
they run it. All the weapons, all the soldiers, all of the nuclear warheads, all of that. We are living in the times of the Gentiles, and they dominate the planet. And their religion dominates the planet. Nevertheless, let's read. I want to read this about this last piece, because he's going to destroy the mighty and holy people. Go ahead.
Roman Catholic persecution.
Oh, the RC. I'm going there. RC persecution. Stands for Roman Catholic. When I say RC, I mean Roman Catholic. Because that's who this beast is, y'all. That's who this beast is in Revelation. Because the Roman Empire has stood up in 44 BC and still is in power right now religiously, y'all. Religiously. By religion. The Roman Catholic religion runs the planet. It is the mother of all today's modern day Christianity. If you're in church on Sunday, you are a daughter of the Roman Catholic beast. You are a daughter of what we're going to read right here. Go ahead.
During the reign of the Papal Church of Rome, tens of millions of Christians were persecuted and killed because they refused to bow to the authority of the Papal Church.
Papal, that's papal.
Papal
Yeah.
Church. This reign of terror was prophesied in Daniel 7 and Revelation 13. This will happen again with the mark of the beast. Roman Catholic Church is enforced.
And we're going to look at the mark. We're going to show you that they actually had enforced a certificate that you had to get to show that you sacrificed to the Roman gods. And if you didn't have this, you were either in prison or put to death. Okay? But tell us nothing new under the sun. When we say here, this is something new, okay, we ain't reading book. Nevertheless, go ahead.
Below are quotes from history describing the most awful persecution at the hands of the Roman Catholic Church.
Now, I'm going to bring this up. The persecution of the early church, it started with our people. I dealt with that last week. Paul was a part of that persecution. That's what you was going into, right? Persecution, right? Yeah. Hold that spot right there. And let's go and read that, y'all. We got a lot of history, y'all. A lot of history that's going to intertwine with the scriptures. But we're going to go to Acts 9th chapter. And I'm going to show you this persecution started from amongst us. Then when we fell down and got took out of the land, then that Roman, the religion that came up after that, bam, look. So Acts 9th chapter. Now I'm going to read the history. I'm going to go into a little timeline dialogue here. And the first martyr after Jesus was his death and resurrection was Stephen. He was martyred in Acts the 8th chapter. So we're going to go right to Acts 9th chapter and read verse 9. That was the first martyr. Stephen, he was stoned by our people. Okay? Yeah, the spirit of the Antichrist is flourishing amongst Israel in the land. That's why the Lord said, for the overspread of abomination, he shall make it desolate. What's the abomination? The spirit of the Antichrist. The true believers in Christ, being outnumbered by the Antichrist. So the Lord said, you know what, I'm just going to wipe the whole land. I'm just clear it out. Get my prophecy rolling. That's what happened in 70 AD, but that's another lesson. Nevertheless, let's look at how Paul was before he got converted from that Antichrist spirit. Go ahead. Acts 9:1.
And verse 1. And Saul yet breathing out threatening and slaughter against the disciples of the Lord.
What? He was breathing out what? Threatenings and what? Slaughter. And this is the man that turned around and wrote 13 letters about Christ. Think about it. So you can't be saved from the Antichrist spirit. Go ahead.
Against the disciples of the Lord. Went unto the high priest.
Yes.
And desired of him letters to
Damascus.
To the synagogues, that if he found any of this way, whether they were men or women, he might bring them bound to Jerusalem. And as he journeyed, verse 3. And as he journeyed, he came near Damascus, and seeing there shine round about him a light from heaven. Verse 4. And he fell to the earth, and heard a voice saying unto him, Saul, Saul, why persecutest thou me?
Oh, wait a minute. So when you put your hands on the servant of God, we talking about the true servants, you actually persecuting the Lord? Yes, indeed. That's why the spirit of the Antichrist, when you grab his word and you really believe his book and you tell them, man, I ain't going to church on Sunday, watch out. Watch out. Because they're going, if that spirit of Antichrist is in them, real tough, they want to do something to you. Some families are straight up split, ripped because of the word of God. But Jesus prophesied to that too. Nevertheless, he telling Saul, why persecutest thou me? And Saul hadn't laid a hand on the Lord physically. But he showed what we read up high. Yet breathing out slaughters and threatenings against the disciples of the Lord. Notice that what that word against. Against. Anti. Nevertheless, keep reading.
And verse 5, and he said, who art thou, Lord? And the Lord said, I am Jesus.
Yes, sir.
I am Jesus whom thou persecutest.
Yes, sir.
It is hard for thee to kick against the pricks.
See, he said, I am Jesus whom thou persecutest. So that's why the Great Tribulation period, those 2,300 days, like we're going to get into a little bit and show you how we got to flee. And the ones that don't make it into the wilderness, that's another lesson, which I'm not going to get into particular in detail because we focus on the Antichrist now. Nevertheless, it's against the body of Christ and it directly affects the Lord. That's why he said, I am Jesus whom thou persecutest, because Christ is in us. And if we have his word, which Christ is, that's what we dealt with in the first part 1. If his word in you, Christ dwelleth in us. So the Antichrist is against Christ or against the word that's in us. Okay? So now, I'm going to go to this little historical thinking because in AD 42, the Apostle James was beheaded by Herod Agrippa in the Edomite. Then you had AD 49, Bible Christians were expelled from Rome, were blamed for fires disturbances. AD 64, Emperor Neo launched a persecution against the true Christians, because at that time everybody knew who the Christians were, and at that time being a Christian was not a favorable position, y'all. It really wasn't. They felt you were stupid, dumb, blind, and ignorant for following a man that died for people that didn't want him. And they look, if you go on carnal, oh man, that look crazy. But if you understand the spiritual aspect, if you see the word of God, the spirit of God, it was clear as to what has happened with Christ. Nevertheless, 64 AD, Neo launched persecutions. In 65 AD, Peter and Paul were executed. Okay? And in the 80s, the Dominion developed emperor worship. And the Domitians, now this is after 70 AD, after Israel fell and was scattered. We go into extensive history about that. Nevertheless, in 95 AD, the Domitians executes and exile several family members on charges, to my Christians, of atheists. They call us the first atheists, y'all. Straight up. They call the original Christians atheists. And we're going to find out why. AD 107 AD, Simon, the cousin of Jesus and Bishop of Jerusalem, was killed for political reasons. In AD 110, Ignatius, Bishop of Antioch, was martyred in Rome, killed in Rome. Let me go to some more significant ones. We got a trail of blood, y'all, all the way down. We're going to look at some of the more current ones. Go back into this document and read that. I'm going to go there.
These quotes are not to cause upset, but to expose the papal church for what it really is. The image to the left is a statue of Ignatius.
Oh, bypass that. Yeah, go down.
The image on the left shows a parade by...
Go down.
On August 24th, 1527, Roman Catholics in France, by prearranged plan under the Jesuit and influence, murdered 70,000 Protestants within the space of 2 months.
Now, Protestants is when at that time people understood you protested the seat of the papacy. That's it was protested. Nowadays it developed to Protestant, but the original saying was protested. You protested the Catholic Church. Go ahead.
The Pope rejoiced when he heard the news of the successful outcome. Western Watchman, November 21st, 1912, Catholic. There was no village of the Valdez valleys, but had its martyrs. The Waldes were burned. They were cast into damp and horrid dungeons. They were smothered in crowds and mountain caverns, mothers and babes, and old men and women together. They were sent out into exile in the winter night.
Now let me go here, just for clarification. Those of us in these days and times, when we saw the radical group ISIS rise up, and they was killing mothers and kids, even had babies on poles. Yeah, that was like, ugh. Well, guess who originally did that the first time, y'all? Yep, the Mother Church. She really did. And we can read some more of this, but did you finish that?
Unclothed and unfed to climb the snowy mountains. They were hurled over the rocks. Their houses and lands were taken from them. Their children were stolen to be indoctrinated with the religion which they abhorred. Rapacious individuals were sent among them to strip them of their property, to persecute and exterminate them. Thousands of heretics or wilderness, old men, women, and children were hung.
Oh, they was doing hangings. Okay, y'all? Look, this beast made war. He sought to destroy the holy people, y'all. That's what we just got to read now. And like Paul was before the Lord showed him, look, you persecuted me. And the Lord flipped him. So now let's go back in the book. And let's go to Galatians 1 and 23. Galatians 1 and 23. So the spirit of Antichrist is serious business. And we're going to show you that's why we're headed toward the Great Tribulation period, y'all. Because of the spirit of the Antichrist flourishing, it's going to come to a head when the man of sin going to stand up and he's going to be like, guess what? You ain't down for my rabbits and eggs. You ain't down for my policies. But look what Paul said right here. We're going to Galatians 1 and verse 1 and 23. Galatians 1 and 23. Because Paul used to be breathing out slaughters. The Lord flipped him. And now look what Galatians says.
Verse 23. But they had heard only that he which persecuted us in times past now preacheth the faith which once he destroyed.
See, but now, because this is about 57 AD, that that he which persecuted us in times past now preacheth the faith which once he what? Destroyed. So that's why the spirit of the Antichrist started out amongst our people, and then it just left from us because we got taken out in 70 AD. But the spirit of Christ still flourishes in those that believe in the word. Hence, the spirit of the Antichrist steady grew and grew. That's why we started to read some of these persecutions that went on. We're going to be some of the more famous ones that did brutal. But look, let's do ourselves a favor. Let's go to Matthew 23 and 34. Matthew 23 and 34. Because the spirit of Christ has been around a long time, y'all. We're going to show you how long. Matthew 23 and 34. When you get it, son, read.
Verse 34. Wherefore, behold, I send unto you prophets and wise men and scribes, and some of them ye shall kill and crucify, and some of them shall ye scourge in your synagogues and persecute them from city to city.
So Christ said, I'm going to send unto you prophets and wise men and scribes, and some of them ye shall kill and what? Crucify. Jesus wasn't the only one crucified on the cross, y'all. That was a Roman's death instrument. Thousands was crucified on the cross, y'all. We're going to read some of the horror show that went on. Nevertheless, let's see how long the Spirit of Christ has been around. Go ahead.
Verse 35. That upon you may come all the righteous blood shed upon the earth, from the blood of righteous Abel unto the blood of Zacharias, son of Perdition, whom ye slew between the temple and the altar.
Oh, wait a minute. So you mean tell the Spirit of Christ didn't just start in the New Testament? The spirit of the Antichrist didn't just start in the New Testament, y'all, really? It's unveiled the understanding, because the Lord said wisdom is the principal thing, but with all thy getting, get a what? An understanding, y'all, of what's going on. So, from Abel all the way down, he said, whom you slew between the temple and the altar, go ahead.
Verse 36. Verily I say unto you, all these things shall come upon this generation. Verse 37. O Jerusalem, Jerusalem, thou that killest the prophets and stonest them which are sent unto thee, how often would I have gathered thy children together, even as a hen gathered her chickens under her wings, and ye would not.
No, he said, oh Jerusalem, Jerusalem, and believe you me, back when we was in our land, that's what the spread of abominations was. And then even when you come to Jerusalem, scattered out here now, you bring this book, man. Like I said, hey, I've been a Christian for 27 years. And then when I got here with a Bible Christian, I started believing this book. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. I'm like, man, I'm getting popped upside the head. But I'm like, dude, wait a minute. I thought all these Christians was on book. I believe the Bible. Oh, okay. Nevertheless, watch this. Because of that, verse 38.
Verse 38. Behold, your house is left unto you desolate.
And we're going to look at what he meant by having been left desolate. Go ahead.
Verse 39. For I say unto you, ye shall not see me henceforth, till ye shall say, blessed is he that cometh in the name of the Lord.
And then one of the names of the Lord is the Word of God. That's what we dealt with last week. But watch, go right into it. Let's hold this right quick. Let's hold this and show you how the Spirit of Christ has been around. First, hold this spot, and let's go to 1 Peter 1 and 9. 1 Peter 1 and 9. Then we're going to come back. 1 Peter 1 and 9. Because to understand the man of sin, the son of perdition, you have to understand where he getting his concept from, or where it originated, and how it flourished, and how when this time come back around again, guess what? They're going to be straight up trying to what? Crucify you, kill you, and scourge you. In the churches, y'all. We're talking about in the churches. So 1 Peter 1 and 9. Watch this, y'all. 1 Peter 1 and 9. Read.
Verse 9. Receiving the end of your faith, even the salvation of your soul.
Yes, sir.
Verse 10. With salvation the prophets have inquired and searched diligently, who prophesied of the grace that shall come unto you.
See, we can read back there where the prophets prophesied of the grace to come. That's why you need the old and the new, y'all. Go ahead.
Verse 11. Searching what? Or what manner of time the Spirit of Christ which was in them.
Oh. The Spirit of Christ is where?
Which was in them.
It didn't say on them, huh? It said what?
Which was in them.
The Spirit of Christ which was in them. In who? The prophets. No wonder he said from Abel. Because Moses was a prophet of the Lord. The Spirit of Christ was in Moses. Nevertheless, the Spirit of Christ which was in them did signify, go ahead.
But it testified beforehand the sufferings of Christ and the glory that should follow. Verse 12. And to whom it was revealed that not unto themselves, but unto us.
See, it was revealed unto themselves that they were Christians because Christ hadn't came to be anointed yet, y'all. Okay, so. But we, understanding the word, because we have the law and the testimony, we know that they had the Spirit of Christ in them, the anointed one. Go ahead.
But unto us, they did minister the things,
yes, sir,
which are now reported unto you by them that have preached the gospel unto you, which with the Holy Ghost sent down from heaven.
Yes, sir.
Which things the angels desire to look into.
Yes, sir. So now let's go back to Matthew to 23rd chapter. I'm going to read verse 39 and then go right into chapter 24. Because these chapters were added later on. We're going to show you that this is actually a continuous thought going on here, y'all. Actually a continuous thought. So read Matthew 23 and 39 and then read right into chapter 24. Read.
For I say unto you, ye should not see me henceforth, till ye shall say, blessed is he that cometh in the name of the Lord. Matthew 24, verse 1. And Jesus went out and departed from the temple, and his disciples came to him for to show him the buildings of the temple. And verse 2, and Jesus said unto them, see ye not all these things? Verily I say unto you, there should not be left here one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down.
Now that happened in 70 AD. And then Jesus just walked them right over into, guess what? Verse 3, read.
Verse 3. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? And what should be the sign of thy coming, and of the end of the world?
Oh, so now Jesus went right from, hey, all this here, he actually showed them 70 AD, it's going to get thrown down, y'all. So that's going to be when Israel took out of the land and it got replaced. Now he's showing them the end of what? The end of the world. Go ahead.
And Jesus answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you. Verse 5. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many.
Yes, sir. So now there's a lot that's in this, but I'm focused on the Antichrist. What I want to do now, let's skip down to verse 8.
Verse 8. All these are the beginning of sorrows. Verse 9. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake.
Oh, that's the spirit of the Antichrist. Because remember, they sought to destroy Jesus. Paul sought to destroy those that was after the way of Christ. Then he himself, we just got to read, they said, hey man, now he preaching the faith he once sought to destroy. But now we're talking about at the end time, they're going to deliver you up, you're going to be afflicted and kill you, and you shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. Go ahead.
Verse 10. Then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another.
Perilous times, y'all. We can read about perilous times. Men's going to be lovers of themselves, having a form of godliness, but denying the powers thereof, denying the word, y'all, denying the spirit of Christ that's in this book. The spirit of the Antichrist. Nevertheless, go ahead.
Verse 11. And many false prophets shall rise and shall deceive many. Verse 12. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold.
Yes, sir.
Verse 13. But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved.
The same shall be saved. So now let's do ourselves a favor and let's look at this a little closer. Let's go to Isaiah 14 chapter. Isaiah 14. Because this office started from the church, and this church, the RC church, this right here is what it originated and came out of. Isaiah 14 chapter and verse 12. That's what I'm going to do. Isaiah 14 and 12. Isaiah 14 and 12. Read.
Verse 12. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nation?
Now look, Luke 10 chapter and verse 18 will tell you this is Satan who failed. Okay? He's cut down to the ground, and he's the one that did weaken the nations. Go ahead.
Verse 13. For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven.
In other words, the desire that Satan has is in his heart, I'm going to heaven. So when you see literature talking about the way to go to heaven, who you reading about? You're reading about the desire that's in Satan's heart. He said, for thou hast said in thy heart, I will ascend to heaven. That's how every time I see somebody in the literature talking about the way to go to heaven, I'm like, oh, there it is. Satan's gospel. Go ahead.
I will exalt my throne above the stars of God.
Oh, he has a throne? Go ahead.
I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north.
Wait a minute. He said he's going to exalt his throne above the stars of God. Remember, we said he cast down the stars. We read that in Daniels. So now we're seeing he's going to sit upon the mount of the congregation of the north. Go ahead.
Verse 14. I will send above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High.
That's why Paul said in 2 Corinthians 11 and 4, he that come preaching another Jesus. Because you got this congregation, and we're going to look at the doctrine that come out of this congregation. Now go ahead.
Verse 16. Yet thou should be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit.
But it's going to take, that doctrine is on the way to hell. He said, yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit. Go ahead.
Verse 16. They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee, and consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the earth?
Whoa. Wait a minute. So we went from a spirit being to a man. He said, they're going to look upon thee and consider this, saying, is this the man? That is the Antichrist. Because Satan is manifesting his thoughts into this flesh. And that flesh that's going to partake of all that Satan got to give him. He said, is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake kingdoms? Go ahead.
Saying, is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake the kingdom?
Yes, sir.
Verse 17. That made the world as a wilderness.
Yes, sir.
And destroyed the cities thereof. That opened not the house of his prisoners.
Oh, he had prisoners. He was destroying cities. He made the world a what? A wilderness. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So let's go look at this a little closer, y'all. Let's go to Daniel's 11th chapter. And I want to go on this document. Now let's go here. I want to go to this what come out of this congregation, y'all. Right here on the back page. Yeah, these are the doctrines that come out of this congregation, y'all. Go ahead.
Prayers for the dead.
Prayers for the dead.
300 AD.
What year?
300 AD.
300 AD. So that means that didn't come from the Bible, y'all. So this church, this congregation that Satan got this man over, he got prayers for the dead. Go ahead.
Making the signs of the cross. 300 AD.
Making signs of the cross. 300 AD. Go ahead.
The Sunday worship decree of the pagan Christian emperor Constantine. 321 AD.
Oh, the pagan, the decree of Sunday worship. 321 AD. The pagan Roman emperor Constantine. He's a part of this church. Go ahead.
The celebration of December 25th, Mithra's birthday, renamed Jesus' birthday, 336 AD.
Oh, they come up to 336 AD. None of this stuff, you can't find Sunday worship in this book. Nowhere. You ask a Christian, wait a minute, sir, excuse me. Number one, the Bible says in Matthew 12:8, Jesus is the Lord of the Sabbath day. And in Hebrews 13 chapter, verse 8 tells us, Jesus Christ is saying yesterday, today, and forever. So how could the Sabbath day change when he's the Lord of it? Then you sit back and wait for it. Watch it. Watch it. How could it change? No, that's because the Antichrist, his office started from this congregation all the way down to when he's going to make this earth, he's going to be destroying cities and make the world a wilderness, and he's going to have prisoners, and he shake the kings of this world, y'all. That's what we headed for in this 2,300 days of Daniel, y'all. Okay? So, he came up with Sunday worship. He came up with Christmas. Go ahead.
Veneration of angels and dead saints.
The veneration of angels and dead saints. Go ahead.
375 AD.
So that came up 375 AD. Go ahead.
Use of image and worship. 375 AD.
The use of images in worship. When the Lord, first he said, that's how no graven images. Don't make any graven images. That's the commandments of God. Out this book, you should not do that. But if you're against the book, you do that. Go ahead.
The Mass as a daily celebration. 394 AD. Beginning of the exaltation of Mary, the eternal Mother of God.
Oh, the exaltation of Mary. The who?
The Mother of God.
The Mother of God. You got Hebrews running around. See, there's a Mother God up in heaven. I'm like, wow. Interesting. So they follow right after the Catholic exaltation of Mary, the Mother of God. When did that come up?
Applied at the Council of Ephesians, 431 AD.
So that came up 431 AD. Okay, go ahead.
Extreme unction, last rites, 526 AD.
So last rites unction, what year?
526 AD.
526 AD. Go ahead.
Doctrine of purgatory.
Purgatory.
Gregory the First.
Gregory the First. When did he do that?
493 AD.
493 AD. Interesting. Contrary to the Bible, anti-word, y'all. Against the Bible. Those are the doctrines that come out of this congregation. Not to mention, all of them believe they're going to heaven. All the people that practice that stuff think they're going to heaven, y'all. That's why they're doing it. Go ahead, Doc.
Prayers to Mary and dead saints.
Prayers to Mary. Go ahead.
600 AD.
600 AD. Okay.
Worship of cross, images, and relics. 786 AD.
The worship of cross in 700 and what?
86 AD.
786 AD. That's when they start worshiping the cross and bow down to it, and everybody walking around. See, I'm a Christian because I got a cross. Dude, that is capital punishment that you're wearing. I want them to run around with a doggone syringe that represents lethal injection around it. And you tell somebody, they're going to be looking at you, hey, dude, no. So let me explain something to you. Anyway, nonetheless, keep going.
Canonization of dead saints.
The canonization of dead folks. Go ahead. Dead saints.
995 AD.
985 AD?
995.
995 AD. Okay, go ahead.
Celibacy of priesthood.
Oh, the celibacy of priesthood. Go ahead.
1079 AD.
So the year 1079 AD.
The rosary, 1900.
So the rosary came up to what?
1090 AD.
1090 AD. Go ahead.
Indulgences.
Go ahead.
1190 AD.
1090. What you said? 1000 what?
1190.
Oh, the year
90.
1190. Okay, go ahead. Transubstantiation. That means they trying to say, see, when you do the bread and the wine, because that's what it's going, right? Go ahead.
That's it. The third. 1215 AD.
1215 AD. So they're trying to say, literally, the bread is literally the body of Christ. Literally. Not figuratively speaking. Not ceremony applying to what the Lord said. Remember, do this in remembrance of me. Take, eat, this is my body. He said, do this in remembrance of me. He didn't say, it is me. Okay? Anyway, go ahead. Even though we understand the significance of Christ being unleavened. Go ahead.
Auricular confession of sins to our priest.
Oh, the regular confession of sins to a who?
Priest.
To a priest. Go ahead.
1215 AD.
That came up in 1215 AD. Let's stop right there. Because all of these are contrary to the word of God. There's no man on this earth that can remove your sin. It's only by faith in the shed blood of Jesus Christ that we have remission of sins. Okay? Nevertheless, let's keep going. Let's go to Daniel's 11th chapter. Daniel's 11 and verse 30. Daniel's 11 and verse 30. Because we're going to get to the mark of the beast. I'm watching my time. We're going to get to the mark of the beast. We're going to go to Daniel's 11th chapter and verse 30. Because in this chapter, it's hard history, it's hard events that already occurred on Antiochus Epiphanes between the testaments, and then it's a shadow. It was showing you what was coming with an arm standing on a host of stand up on the behalf of the Antichrist. So right here, Daniel 11 and verse 30. Read.
Verse 30. For the ships of Shittim shall come against him, therefore he shall be grieved and return and have indignation against the holy covenant.
Against the commandments of God. Go ahead.
So shall he do. He shall even return and have intelligence with them that forsake the holy covenant.
And the people want you to forsake the holy covenant even now, God's word. We go read this in the book of the covenant, y'all. Go ahead. Nevertheless, go ahead.
Verse 31. And arms shall stand on his part, and they shall pollute the sanctuary of strength, and shall take away the daily sacrifice, and they shall place the abomination that maketh desolate. Oh,
so now we're seeing the arms to stand on his part, and they shall pollute the sanctuary of strength. We're in the 2300 days of Daniel, y'all. That's what that's talking about. And shall take away the daily sacrifice, and do what?
And they shall place the abomination that maketh desolate.
Now let's go and show you what Jesus said about this by going to Matthew 24 and verse 15. We're going to go to Matthew 24th chapter and verse 15. Show you this is all end time, y'all. We read about the sanctuary during the 2300 days of Daniel. I go in depth on that in particular and break down each little section, how we get it. The handout is available on our website under Doc for You of this chart of the 2300 days of Daniel, where we break down the waiting period, the 30 days to flee, the first, second, and third year, the Great Tribulation period, and then the last 6 months that brings the 7 trumpets that the Lord gonna rain His wrath on this earth. Nevertheless, that's in that lesson. So right here, Matthew 24th chapter, and we're gonna go to verse 15. We're gonna go right here, verse 15. Look what Jesus said.
Verse 15. When ye therefore shall see the abomination of desolation, spoken of by Daniel the prophet, stand in the holy place. Whoso readeth, let him understand.
Also, when this abomination that make it desolate stand in the holy place, whoso readeth, let him understand. We're going to go back, but watch what happens when this occurs. Verse 16.
Verse 16. Then let them which be in Judea flee into the mountains.
Now it's the time to flee. There is no rapture. That comes from the Antichrist. He wants you running around denying this. Jesus said flee. He didn't say wait to disappear, men's going to go poof. He didn't say nothing like that. If you believe you got the word of Christ, it said let them which be in Judea flee unto the mountains. Go ahead.
Verse 17. Let him which is on the housetop not come down to take anything out of his house. Verse 18. Neither let him which is in the field return back to take his clothes.
So it's real urgent, y'all. Real urgent. We got 30 days. Look at this. We break it down. 30 days. That's the time to flee. Go ahead.
Verse 19. And woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days.
Yeah, because it's going to be hard to run with a little baby, y'all. And we actually breastfed our child. So, man, I'm like, honey, could you imagine trying to flee with little Sabbath on your breast? Are you serious? Anyway, but we understand exactly what this means because we breastfed our child, y'all. So we know that this, man, it's hard to move with a little suckling child, y'all. And you breastfeed? Man, look. Anyway, but look what he said, verse 20. Go ahead.
Verse 20. But pray ye that your flight be not in the winter.
Yes, sir.
Neither on the Sabbath day.
See, because for the total of the 2,300 days, that waiting period starts in the winter. You don't want to leave too soon. Then he said, neither on the Sabbath day, because it's going to take us all the way down. The Sabbath day that he's talking about, we got to be in that in the wilderness for the Passover. He's going to seal that wilderness like he brought us out of Egypt the first time. That's the connection. I don't want to go. That's another tangent. Nevertheless, that's why he said, neither pray that your flight be not in the winter, neither on the Sabbath day, even now this Sabbath day. Because the Lord showed you two things. The Sabbath is still important. And when you understand the 2,300 days of Daniel, you understand that guess what? You got to be in that wilderness for that high day that's coming. It's also called a Sabbath day. But that's another tangent. But look, this time period is leading to what? Verse 21.
Verse 21. For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world
yes, sir.
to this time. No, nor ever shall be.
Then shall be the great tribulation, y'all. This man of sin going to stand up and exalt himself above all that's called God. He's going to destroy the mighty holy people, people that didn't make it into the wilderness. He is going after them. And we're going to show you who those are. We're going to show you who those are. Matter of fact, let's go to Revelations, the 12th chapter. I'll start to lead this out. Revelations 12th chapter. And verse... verse 13. Revelations 12, verse 13.
Verse 13. And when the dragon saw that he was cast into the earth, he persecuted the woman which brought forth the man-child.
Yes, sir. That's Israel. Persecuted Israel, persecuted his church. Go ahead.
Verse 14. Verse 14. And to the woman were given two wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness,
yes, sir.
into her place where she is nourished for a time and times and half a time from the face of the serpent.
Now the book says times, and half times. It will break it down 42 months, 3.5 years, 1,260 days. It all fits within the 2,300 days of Daniel's chart that I have available on our doc for you. You can go in there and get it. And I got it all broken down. Okay? Nevertheless, this is why it's going to be a time such as never was. Go ahead.
Verse 15. And the serpent cast out of his mouth water as a flood after the woman, that he might cause her to be carried away.
Because she fled. She fled. Those that took heed to the word of God know to flee when this man is sin or the Antichrist stands up. Go ahead.
Verse 16. And the earth helped the woman, and the earth opened her mouth, and swallowed up the flood which the dragon cast out of his mouth. Verse 17. And the dragon was wroth with the woman, and went to make war with the remnants of her seed, which keep the commandments of God, and have the testimony of Jesus Christ.
Oh, so you mean to tell me the ones that he's against are those that do what? Keep the commandments of God. And you got Christians running around saying, well, you can't keep the commandments of God. That's a seed of the Antichrist. That's the spirit of the Antichrist. You can't keep the commandments, brother. That's Antichrist. Because right here, he's going after those that keep the commandments of God and to have the testimony of Jesus Christ. So that's why it's going to be a time such as never was, because he bringing the hammer, because this is the last time, the indignation of the Antichrist. So let's go to Revelation, back to Daniel's. We're going to go to Daniel's 12 and 1. Daniel's 12th chapter, verse 1. Remember, he said it's going to be a time such as was, never was, nor shall be. Read.
Verse 1. And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people. And there should be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book.
Oh, you got to be written in the book, huh? God deal with books. That's why we deal with books. That's why we say we are Bible Christians. I'm trying to make sure that anybody that say, I want to be found written in the book, you own books, so help you book. That's all you want to do is book. Anyway. Nevertheless, skip down to verse 7.
Verse 2. And I heard the man clothed in linen, which was upon the waters of the river, when he held up his right hand and his left hand unto heaven, and swore by him that liveth forever, that it shall be for a times and a half, and when he shall. Oh,
then we just got to read that in Revelation 12 chapter, y'all. Connected, law and testimony. We on bud. Go ahead.
And when he shall have accomplished to scatter the power of the holy people, and all these things shall be finished. So he got 20.
We looking at this whole time period for 2,300 days. It goes into detail. I'm not doing that now. I just want to show you how that applies. You can pick it up, go on our website, pull this down, and we break out. This is the end time. Nevertheless, we focus on the Antichrist. Keep going.
Verse 8. And I heard, but I understood not. Then I said, O my Lord, what shall be the end of these things?
See, because Daniel was in a different dispensation, y'all. So it wasn't for his time. But in this time, we had clarity. That's why I got the 2,300 days time. For everyone that want clarity, you get that. You got a pretty good shot on what's going down in the 2,300 days, the time of the end. Because watch what he says. Go ahead.
Verse 9. And he said, Go thy way, Daniel, for the words are closed up and sealed till the time of the end.
Oh, they are sealed until the time of the end. Go ahead.
Verse 10. Many shall be purified and made white and tried, but the wicked shall do wickedly.
Oh, no wonder the Lord said it's going to be a time such as never was. He said, iniquity shall abound, love of many going to wax cold. Many shall be purified and made white, and what? Tried, but what?
But the wicked shall do wickedly.
But the wicked shall do wickedly. That's why you can show a person, hey man, you ain't tell me Constantine came up with Sunday and the Pope came up with Christmas. And he said the bunny rabbits ain't got nothing to do with Jesus. Now they got a decision to make. Are they going to do wickedly or are they going to turn to righteousness? Because it's clear. That's like I said last week. Information is instant now. You can find out, hey, dang. back when I was a little boy, I had to go to the library and pull up a whole lot of books and a whole lot of encyclopedias and put it all together and say, wow, Christmas is, yeah. Anyway, nevertheless, he said, many shall be purified and made white and tried, but the wicked shall do wickedly. Go ahead.
And none of the wicked shall understand, but the wise shall understand.
And we read about that strong delusion that the Lord is saying on you. He said, none of the wicked gonna understand. Because we are living in the days, the end times. As a matter of fact, as far as the increase of knowledge, could have read that at verse 4. Nevertheless, this is why he said, none of the wicked shall understand, but the wise shall understand. Verse 11.
Verse 11. And from the time that the daily sacrifice shall be taken away.
Oh, what we was reading in Daniel's 11th chapter. Oh, what we was reading in Matthew's 24th chapter. It's all clicking, y'all. It's all connects. When you believe the word of God and you have left that spirit of deception, or you are not under the spirit of the Antichrist, you see this. Because you said, from the time that the daily sacrifice shall be taken away, go ahead.
And the abomination that maketh desolate set up, there should be 1,290 days.
Oh, so that's 1,290 days minus 30 days, give you 1,260 days. We could have read that at the top of Revelation's 11th chapter. Even 42 months is all clicking. But we have 30 days to flee. That's why he said, from the time that day's sacrifice shall be taken away, and the abomination that maketh desolate set up, there shall be 1,290 days. Go ahead.
Verse 12. Blessed is he that waiteth, and cometh to the 1,305 and 30 days. Verse 13. But go thou thy way to the end be, for thou shalt rest and stand in thy lot at the end of the day.
Because see, this wasn't for Daniel. Daniel was in a totally different dispensation. But this is for our dispensation. So let's back up. Let's go up a little higher. Let's go. I'm going to go to Daniel's the 11th chapter and read verse 33. Let's look at this. And then it's going to take us right to the Antichrist. Daniel 11 and 33. Because we read where it says, such as do wickedly against the covenant shall he corrupt by flatteries, but the people that do know their God shall be strong and do exploits. Go ahead.
Verse 33. And they that understand among the people shall instruct many.
See, they that keep the commandments of God and have the testimony of Jesus Christ, we're going to instruct many. See, they that understand among the people shall instruct many. Go ahead.
Yet they shall fall by the sword, and by flame, by captivity, and by spoil, many days.
The one who's doing that to the saints, y'all. We're going to read it again. Go ahead.
Verse 34. Now when they shall fall, they shall be hoping with a little help. But many shall cleave to them with flattery.
With flattery lips. Flattery. Oh, brother, you preach the word of God. Oh, you're such a brother, sister. Oh, it's going to be perilous times, y'all. Because they said they're going to be cleaving with flattery lips. With flatteries, rather. And some of them, go ahead.
Verse 35. And some of them of understanding shall fall, to try them, and to purge, and to make them white, even to the time of the end, because it is yet for a time of appointed.
See, the Lord going to be purging his house at the same time. That's why some going to get in the wilderness. And we read it at the end of Revelation 12th chapter, and we have some commandments that ain't getting in the wilderness. Why? They need purging. It could be over the 8th day. It could be over the 7th feet, whatever. It could be one. That's why we go and try to nail these things down. But we'll see at the end who this going to be when it said, and some of them of understanding shall fall to try them and to purge and to make them white, even to the time of the what? The end. That's why we got this 2300 days chart up here. That's why it was mentioned and told twice in Daniel's 8th chapter. Because it's yet for a time appointed. Watch this, verse 36.
Verse 36. And a king shall do according to his will.
Oh, he's a king, huh? Go ahead.
And he shall exalt himself and magnify himself above every god.
Oh, ain't that what we read in 2 Thessalonians 2nd chapter, y'all? He shall magnify himself above all that is called God. We haven't left Thessalonians, 2 Thessalonians chapter, y'all. Here we go again, practically. It's almost verbatim, but it's bringing about understanding how that Antichrist, the man, is operating. Go ahead. He's going to magnify himself above every God. Go ahead.
And shall speak marvelous things against the God of God.
Yes, sir.
And shall prosper till the indignation be accomplished.
Yes, sir.
For that is determined
yes,
shall
sir.
be done.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 37. Neither shall he regard the God of his fathers, nor the desire of women, nor regard any God, for he shall magnify himself above all.
Guess what? He gonna magnify. He said, neither shall he regard the God of his father. There go that inclusive Christianity part. You know what I'm saying? He gonna be like, come on down, Buddha. Come on in, Islam. We dealt with that in part 1. Neither shall he regard any God, for he shall magnify himself above what? All. That's what happened when you go into what they call inclusive Christianity. You actually headed to this. In the end. Go ahead.
Verse 38. But in his estate shall be honored the God of forces, and a God whom his fathers knew not shall be honored with gold and silver, and with precious stones and pleasant things.
Because he's going to declare himself God. His forefathers didn't know him. Think about it. A man that declared himself God, sitting in the temple to show himself that he is God, his forefathers didn't know him. Because he the one that's calling himself what? God. Go ahead.
Verse 39. Thus shall he do in the most strongholds with the strange God.
Yes, sir.
Whom he shall acknowledge and increase with glory, and he shall cause them to rule over many, and shall divide the land for gain.
Yes, sir.
Verse 40. And at the time of the end
I'm going to go hold this because I'm going to go in to Daniel 7 chapter and read this too. We almost there, y'all. Daniel 7 chapter, and we're going to go right to, let's go to Daniel 7 and verse 21. Because he's going to make war with the saints. Go ahead. Because he exalts himself above all that's called God. Many going to fall. Remember, the devil went after those that keep the commandments of God and have the testimony of Jesus. Those are the saints. So, verse 21, read.
Verse 21. I beheld, and the same horn made war with the saints.
Oh, but it said the dragon made war with the saints at the last chapter of Revelation. I'm going to read that whole. I just want to look at that right quick, because at the end of that Revelation 12th chapter, it said, and the dragon went war with the woman and went to make war with the remnant of her seed. But we see here that it says, and I beheld the same horn made war with the saints and prevailed against him. No wonder Isaiah 14 chapter went from Lucifer all the way down into this man that's going to make war with the saints. And the saints believe in keeping the commandments of God and have the testimony of Jesus. But go ahead. How long are you going to do that until what? Verse 22. Daniel 7 and verse 22.
Verse 22. Until the Ancient of Days came.
So he's going to make war with them until the Ancient of Days come. That's Jesus. And what?
And judgment was given to the saints of the Most High.
That's Revelations 20 and 4. Go ahead.
And the time came that the saints possessed the kingdom.
Also, the time came that the saints possessed the kingdom. Because there's a time for the Antichrist, the man of sin, to be revealed. Up until when the Ancient of Days come, and then he gonna get took out, and then the saints they're gonna be given judgment, and they're gonna possess the kingdom. But watch how Daniel emphasized on the fourth kingdom. Go ahead.
Verse 23. Thus he said, the fourth beast shall be the fourth kingdom upon earth, which shall be diverse from all kingdoms, and shall devour the whole earth, and shall tread it down and break it into pieces.
Now look, go back to this. This fourth kingdom, this is the beast that's exceedingly dreadful, terrible beast. Iron teeth, had 10 horns. The reason why he was diverse from all is because this beast actually took the cloak of religion. He took on the cloak of religion. That's why Emperor Constantine called himself a Christian. Okay? Napoleon the Great didn't call himself no religion, man. Look, Nebuchadnezzar, he made his own religion. Nevertheless, this fourth beast, he's taking the cloak of what they call Christianity, especially nowadays, y'all. Anyway, so this fourth beast shall be the fourth kingdom upon the earth, which shall be diverse from all kingdoms, and shall devour the whole earth and tread it down and break it in pieces. Go ahead.
Verse 24. And the 10 horns out of this kingdom are 10 kings that shall arise, and another shall rise after them, and he shall be diverse from the first, and he shall subdue 3 kings.
That was Uri, Ostrogoths, and the Vandals. Okay, but like I said, we want to focus on this Antichrist, because that's what the seat of the Antichrist did. Now, why am I saying the seat of the Antichrist? Here's what I want to do. On the crown of the RC church head, he has on there what's called vicarious Philadelphia. Vicarious Philadelphia. I had this in our hand now, so you can, but I want to go ahead and zoom the camera in on this. In our video, so you can see up close. You good? Okay, zoom out. And on this crown, it's Roman numerals, and it equals a specific number. Vicarious equals 112, Phili is 53, and Adele is 501. When you stack these together, it equals 666. Okay? Just wanted to bring that up, because we're going to get to that 666 shortly. Nevertheless, read verse 25.
Verse 25. And he shall speak great words against the Most High.
And he has. Daniel's prophecy has come true. He shall speak great words against the Most High. Go ahead.
And shall wear out the saints of the Most High.
Yes, sir. He has done that. He been wearing the saints out. You pick up this word and you start believing this word. I mean, for real, for real. You come out of that Sunday worship. You come out of these holidays. You're going to be bombarded. You're going to be attacked. Because that spirit of the Antichrist that inhabits him is already in the midst of the people. So now, he's going to wear out the saints. They're going to try to wear you out. Like I said, man, when I picked up this book, and I thought everybody was believing in the Bible. I was like, whoa, dude. I come out of that wearing out. Like, dang, hey, what's going on? Why am I being assaulted? Because that spirit of the Antichrist manifesting in the people, and here, he shall wear out the saints of the Most High and do what else?
And to change time.
That's why they say, oh, he changed the Sabbath day. I always like to say it again. Read in Matthew 12 and 8. Jesus is the Lord of the Sabbath day. And then take on what Jesus Christ is saying today, yesterday, today, and forever. And then ask, wait a minute. So who changed the Sabbath day? The beast did. This fourth beast under the papacy. Nevertheless, go ahead.
And law.
Actually, Emperor Constantine was really the first pope, technically speaking, in practice. Not in name, but in practice. Because he thinks to change times and laws. Go ahead.
And they shall be given into his hand until a time and times and the dividing of time.
And that's the end. That's the great tribulation period. That's why this chart that we had up here, let me bring that back up. That's why the end of this 2300 days is times, divided times, 42 months, 3.5 years. Okay? So go ahead.
Verse
26.
26. For the judgment shall sit, and they shall take away from his dominion, to consume and to destroy it unto the end. And the kingdom and dominion and the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven.
Oh, up in heaven. What did it say?
Under the whole heaven.
The book said under the whole heaven. Go ahead.
Shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High.
Oh, no wonder Satan wants to go up in heaven. Was God want to give his saints the kingdom under the heaven? Which one you going to ride with? You going with opposite, or you going with the word of God? Because they're going to stand against you when you stand on the word of God. Under the whole heaven shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High. And they tell you, They are they which have the commandments of God and the testimony of Jesus. Go ahead. Who's what?
Whose kingdom is everlasting kingdom, and all dominions shall serve and obey him.
Yes, sir. So now let's go back to that Daniel's 11th chapter. Daniel's 11. Actually, I'm looking at my time. Let's go to Revelations. Let's go to Revelations 12th chapter, 13th chapter. Revelations 13. And this time we're going to go Revelations 13. And we're going to see make war with the saints. Let's see how it describes this beast now. We read already, he's going to speak great things and blasphemy against God. And Daniel. Now we're going to Revelation 13 and 5. Revelation 13 and 5. Read.
Verse 5. And there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies, and power was given unto him to continue 40 and 2 months.
There we go, 40 and 2 months. Go ahead.
Verse 6. And he opened his mouth in blasphemy against God.
Wait, we read that in Daniel. Go ahead.
To blaspheme his name and his tabernacle and them that dwell in heaven. Verse 7. And it was given unto him to make war with the saints and to overcome them. And power was given him over all kindreds and tongues and nations. Verse 8. And all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose names are not written in the book of life of the Lamb slain from the foundation of the world.
Also, if you believe in keeping the commandments of God and have the testimony of Jesus, your name is written in the book. And if you don't believe in keeping it, then your name is not written in the book. But notice, it was given to him to make war with the saints. Why was this enforced, y'all? I want to read this. Why did the Romans persecute the Christians? Let me read this. The source of this is Pantheos.com by Michael F. Bird. Roman attitudes toward Christ believers highlight the incommensurability between Christ devotees and the Roman religious devotees, especially in relation to the imperial cults. Christ believers, aka Bible believers, Bible Christians, okay, who were persecuted under Nero in the mid-600s AD, included the executions of Peter and Paul, were motivated by complex factors. Nevertheless, it is certainly true that abstention from the imperial cults is not treated as a reason for Neronian persecutions in any of our sources. However, we do know from texts that Christ believers were despised for their abominations. Notice, as a mischievous superstition, they were typical of things hideous and shameful that made their way to Rome for the hatred of mankind. Similar criticisms were said of many Eastern rites that had come to Rome, both Judaism and the Bacchus cultists. So why the focus on Christ believers? Christ believers were singled out because they were regarded as committing national apostasy. By abandoning and even criticizing Roman religion, they were religiously impious and politically disloyal. That's what they were called. While Roman religion was pluralistic, it was not necessarily tolerant toward foreign cults, especially if they were thought to promote debauchery and disorder. For a Roman resident to profess faith in Jesus as an alternative to Roman religion lent itself to accusations of atheism. So back then, if you professed that you believed in Jesus, they called you an atheist. That's how being a Christian early on was, whew, it was hairy, y'all. Notice, and hatred of the human race, as it was interpreted as a rejection of the ancestral customs and committed an affront to the majesty of Caesar. Neglect of local deities and civic religious duties, especially those sponsored by imperial patrons, amount to a charge of atheism. Let me go here. From the perspective of early Christianity, the worst abuse in the Roman Empire was the imperial cult. Honors which should be reserved for God alone could not be bestowed on men. The exclusive Christ devotion of the early church could not exhort the veneration of the emperor. In other words, emperor worship. So when this Antichrist getting ready to stand up, he want to be worshipped as God. He showing himself that he is God. But those of us that had the commandments of God, we said, thou shalt have no other gods before me, you are going to be put on the line. You're going to bow down for our Antichrist, or you're going to be beheaded. Yeah, we're going to read that. I just want to get into this right quick before we close out this lesson. So, we got this a lot, man, look. So let's get to this revelation back. That's why he made war with the saints and overcame them, and power was given him over all kindred and tongues and nations. Now let's get down to verse 11, because what's going to happen here is giving this beast another aspect. Another aspect of this beast is going to be spoken of right here. Verse 11.
And they overcame him by the blood.
Verse 11. Romans 13. Sorry, Revelation 13 and verse 11.
Verse 11. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon.
Now this is the final. This is final when you come up out of earth, because it's a symbol of a resurrection. You know, when you're coming out of the earth, resurrection. So this beast is rising up out of the earth, coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a what? Like a lamb. Oh, that's so curious. So that's why Christianity got that. Oh, there's so much love. Oh, how you gonna be against love? Love your neighbor. Okay, but notice what it says. And he spake as a what?
Dragon.
Oh, but he spake as a dragon. That's why you listen to it. Hey, wait a minute, I know you love me, but why we got rabbits and eggs again? Can you play that? Can you please? Why you celebrating Christ's birthday, but I can't read it nowhere out this book? Who said do that? Because he spake as a dragon. He showed you the lamb side. But listen to when he spake as a dragon. What did he do?
Verse 12. And he exercised all the power of the first beast before him.
So he combined all that we live. That's why this inclusive Christianity, the coexist, he's going to take that over. He's going to take that over, and the power of the first beast, and he calls it what?
And causeth the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose daily wound was healed.
Now look. That deadly beast that was wounded was talking about the office of the papacy, because they used to have absolute power until King Philip the Fair of France. I should have wrote the year down, my bad. But this is during medieval time. He actually embarrassed the papacy by not obeying what the Pope said and what the Pope wanted. And he ended up denouncing the Pope, breaking him down to the point where the people lost faith in the church. And he appointed his own Pope. And then that subsequent history goes on to show that that was the time that the waning of the first time that the absolute power of the RC had waned to a point where people had lost faith in it. That's why you had the time of the Reformation. But that's another lesson. We can get into that. But I want to stay focused on this Antichrist. Because look what he does here in verse 13. Read.
13. And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men, and deceiveth in them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth, and that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword and did live.
And you know you got people running around looking for miracles. So when he starts showing himself, he gives life to an image of the beast. He doing great wonders so that he made fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men, like Elijah did against Baal and his false prophets. Satan remembered everything the servants of God did against those that was anti. So he bringing his aspect against the very saints of God. So now we see in verse 14, he deceived them that dwell on earth by means of those what? Miracles. We got people looking for miracles, y'all. Which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on earth that they should make an image to the beast which had the wound by the sword and did live. Go ahead.
Verse 15. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak, and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed.
See, there we go. Because we won't be bound down before no image of no man, but the people that are, you know what, see, it don't matter if he gonna worship and bow down before monkeys. We got our clique and you got yours. But we all come together. That's how we can clearly see, if you understand what inclusive Christianity is about, it's can easily happen. It's coming. Flat out. Because you don't put no finger on mine, and we ain't going to put the finger on yours, and we all have a big kumbaya. Anyway, but we elaborated on that in part 1. Nevertheless, watch what verse 16 does. Go ahead.
Verse 16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bound to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name.
Now watch this, y'all. I want to read this article, bring this article up right quick. Now, this happened in this document is come from Catholic culture, and it's concerning a Libius. What a Libius is a certificate from the time of the persecutions. This is AD 250. Okay. The Libius or the Decian persecution in AD 250. And Libius, this is what it is. It's a certificate, rather, of sacrifice, testifying that a person during the Roman persecutions had offered sacrifice to the pagan gods. The officials were required to superintend the sacrifices on a fixed day. No, what's Sunday? Receive in writing a statement from the person and countersign the testimony in the name of the emperor. Many Christians apostatized, in other words, capitulated. Others bought certificates or had them procured by pagan friends that seemed to have been wholesale connivance by the officials. Those who refused to sacrifice were sentenced to prison or even death. So if you didn't have a certificate, you were sentenced to prison or even done what? Put to death. Now, it said here, we just read, he caused all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, that no man might buy or sell, said he that had the mark. So, that's why the book tells Ecclesiastes 1, say, is this a new thing? No, it's not a new thing, y'all. Except for we're in the dispensation where everything's real close. Information is instant. They observe everything. They listen to everything. So when this beast actually stands up, or the Antichrist, the man of sin and some Perdition stand up, he got eyeballs all over the place. He gonna know if you took the mark or not. I seen those commercials, amazing. How the chip, they're going to put chips and everything where you just go pick up an item, then you walk out the store. They already scanned your bank account. So once they drop the mark in their pile, how you going to buy and sell? It exists now. The technology is on the table, y'all. It's feasible for this to actually happen. Now, you've been talking this back in the days of Paul. They've been looking at you, amen. Why? Because of the dispensations, y'all. The dispensation has arrived where that no man might buy or sell, and they actually get down to chipping people. It's on its way. I deal with that in the mark of the beast. Nevertheless, go ahead. Verse 18.
Verse 18. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. Oh,
so this is the Antichrist. He is coming. His number is what? 666. We can go into Nebuchadnezzar when he wanted everybody to worship. Look at my time. I see. He wanted everybody to worship. He had 6 instruments, 6 sounds. Wanted everybody to bow down. It's the same thing. Under this Gentile dynasty, that's who the Antichrist is. His office is in play. His doctrine is on the table. You got people that are willing to make war with the saints. Like I said, pick up the word of God. Or maybe you remember when you picked up the word of God, what happened to you? Okay? Some people got divorced over the word of God. I mean, really? Yeah. Why? Because that spirit of the Antichrist is here now. It's flourishing. And it all depends on the level of intensity. But when we come to the time within the 2300 days of Daniel, the time of the end, that's when the Antichrist is going to stand up. So I hope you got some understanding about the Antichrist. The man of sin, the son of perdition. He on his way, y'all.